Yeah, I know, kinda a weird choice to be talking about Frozen 2 right now. The last remnants of Disney pre-pandemic that everyone promptly forgot about not too long after. But I didn't forget about it, not because of what it is, but because of what it could have been. You see, Frozen 2 is a movie that I feel was just on the verge of being such an incredible and thematically impressive film, but was held back mostly because the filmmakers were rushed. So today I'm gonna talk about what didn't work in the film and what they could have done better to make up for it. But before I do, I swear I will literally send Olaf to your house at 3 a.m. if you do not subscribe, so you better do it. So a theme that reveals itself is this idea that life changes and things are going to be different. We get a pretty good setup of this idea in the song Some Things Never Change, where it's clear that Anna isn't too worried about the possibility of things changing, but Elsa is. Into the Unknown expands on Elsa's thoughts when she admits that she wants to clear up the questions of her past, even if it threatens the present. So clearly the movie is setting up a theme where Anna has to slowly accept, despite her wishes, some things do change. And we actually get a pretty good list of things that change. Elsa freezes herself, causing Olaf to fleur away, leaving Anna by herself to figure out what the next right thing to do is. She comes to some pretty mature conclusions in this song that push her forward to destroying the dam, which would destroy Arendelle but free everyone from the forest. How she figured that out is kind of a stretch, but whatever, I'll talk about that later. The point is, this movie does a pretty good job at showing the theme of the inevitability of change. Because now Olaf, Elsa, and Arendelle are gone. Except that they actually are. The movie doesn't commit to the consequences of the actions that their grandfather made. For one, Elsa coming back makes sense because she's the fifth spirit, so the dam breaking is supposed to symbolize her breaking all of the spirits free. But honestly, Olaf saying that water has memory isn't a good enough explanation for bringing him back. I mean, all the times we've seen that be used in the movie, it's to show moments in time, not to bring someone back from the dead. What they should have done is make a new Olaf with the same personality and everything, but he has no memory of Anna and Elsa or the events of the first two movies. It'd be like Grunkle Stan in the Gravity Falls finale, except they actually follow through with him not knowing anything. And like, come on bro, why did Arendelle have to survive the tidal wave? That was such a stupid decision. In a deleted scene in the film, it's revealed that they were actually planning on destroying Arendelle and rebuilding it in the end, which honestly would have been a much better ending. I know Elsa said that the spirit gods agreed that Arendelle shouldn't be punished, but like, screw that, because it leaves the theme about change feeling very stale, since literally nothing changed at all in the movie from the beginning. The only thing that arguably did change is that Elsa now lives in the enchanted forest instead of in the castle. That's basically it. She still goes to the castle every Friday night for charades. Besides the lore that this movie throws at us, what theme are we really supposed to get out of this movie? Like seriously, there was a perfect opportunity to have a theme about how injustice done in the past takes selflessness and courage to bring to justice. Anna and Elsa's grandfather was a pretty crappy dude for discriminating against the Northuldren people for no good reason. We'll get to that later. And Anna having to destroy the kingdom to bring justice to them was an amazing act of selflessness and courage. But since Arendelle wasn't destroyed as a result, it just doesn't feel like the movie ever wanted to stay true to what its message was supposed to be. The statement of the second song of this film unfortunately still stands true. Some things never change. But besides that, this movie is jam-packed with a bunch of lore that's not only connected to the first movie, but also the entire identity of Anna and Elsa. Thank God they decided to center the story around something that's surely to be creative and interesting.
Air, of fire, of water, and earth.
Bro, really? That's your lore? Y'all couldn't have thought of anything a little more creative than just being like, oh look, here are the four spirits, and oh what a surprise, Elsa is the fifth. Whatever, that's more of a nitpick I have with the movie. I'd be totally fine with this if it weren't for the movie finding the most complicated and structurally broken ways of presenting the information of a movie ever. Okay, so I'm guessing y'all forgot about the backstory and everything of this movie, so I'm gonna quickly summarize it right now. Here we go. There's an enchanted forest with the four spirits of air, fire, water, and earth. The Northuldren people live here in harmony with the spirits. When Anna and Elsa's dad was a kid, he attended a ceremony where the people of Arendelle gave the Northuldren people a dam as a gift, but little did anyone know except Anna and Elsa's grandfather, the dam was actually a trick he used to wage war on Northuldra, and he ended up dying for it. The forest was locked up by mists, and Anna and Elsa's dad was saved by their Northuldren mom without him knowing. So the spirit gods, or whatever, gifted their parents for coming together to save each other by ensuring that when they have kids, they have Elsa, who is the fifth spirit meant to bring harmony to the spirits, and Anna, who is meant to right the wrong her grandpa made. So the movie doesn't explain this information all at once, obviously, and even me explaining it right here is a little confusing to follow along because there's still just a bunch of questions we're left with by the end of the movie. Don't get me wrong, I think it's actually pretty cool what they did, but for the first half of the movie, we're left in the dark for most of this, and the characters are left in the dark about all of it. This means that the movie can only move forward if things are explained in very vague ways.
The past is not what it seems. A wrong demands to be righted. The truth must be found.
Damn, thank you, Rock Troll, for failing to elaborate. Like, aren't you guys supposed to be the all-knowing wise ex-machinas of this franchise? That's what you were in the first movie. Why are you all of a sudden hiding valuable information? Oh wait, it's because this movie structure would simply not work if you were actually all-knowing. That's cool to know. Where is this voice that Elsa is hearing coming from, and why does Elsa care so much about it? I wonder if Elsa's song Into the Unknown is going to answer that question. Now, already from the title of the song, you can tell that this is probably going to be super vague and ambiguous, and oh yep, the lyrics are just as vague and ambiguous as the title. Without knowing who the voice is or why it's calling for Elsa, it's really hard to see what the motivations behind embarking on this journey are without explaining it vaguely, like Elsa wants to find out the truth about her past. Everything from the songs to the exposition is intentionally vague as to not give away the entire lore of the movie, and it leaves us detached from the journey they go on. But also, I think this movie just doesn't get enough time to really bake out the details, because even the characters, when they should know everything, don't tell it like it is.
How do you know that?
My sister gave her life for the truth.
Anna gives this vague as hell answer because it's too complicated to say, my grandpa built this dam as a trick to ruin your waters, and the spirits are not going to get rid of this mist trapping everyone in here unless we destroy the dam. And the way Anna figures this all out is kinda appalling on its own. From this image alone, Anna makes the conclusion that the dam needs to be destroyed. How? Why? I seriously do not know. I remember seeing this in theaters and thinking, nope, this movie that's targeted towards children just completely lost me. This is too damn complicated. The movie doesn't spend nearly enough time describing why it is that the mist was created in the first place and why the dam is screwing over the Northaldrons so much. The vague explanations we got are that the dam is ruining the water and the grandpa did this because he's scared of magic, which shows how vague of grounds the lore of this film lies upon. And it's such a shame because honestly, for what it is, the lore of this is really freaking cool. I just wish that it was better developed and explained so that the movie could make more sense. Like, what if the grandpapa wanted to use the magic the Northaldrons and spirits had, so he built like a Trojan horse thing and kidnapped them all to enslave them in Arendelle, but when he tries to do this, the spirits murder everyone and lose all trust in humanity, so they trap themselves inside until Anna and Elsa come along to tame everything. I don't know, that would have been at least a little more specific than just being like,
Magic makes people feel too powerful. It makes them think they can defy the will of a king.
Like, bro, you're so lame if that's your only motivation. In the end, we got a movie where the main song is the ice-powered girl singing vague lyrics about wanting to find out what the vague voice is telling her. Compare that to Let It Go, where Elsa sang about wanting to rid herself of the oppression she feels from society by literally letting her ice powers go and letting the pressures from her anxiety leave her, living her true, authentic self. It's specific to the story and powerful even out of context of the story. Meanwhile, Into the Unknown, while it does kind of slap, is only there to be the reason why Elsa goes into the forest. It wasn't incited by much else than a voice calling for Elsa and didn't really reveal any new information about what the voice is or why it's there. The song literally has the word unknown in it. You can't get more vague than that. This movie needed more time. I don't see this as a lost cause because I can tell that the writers were so close to perfection. All they needed was maybe a year more to work out the finer details, and this would have been a phenomenal 10 out of 10 movie. And I don't blame the writers at all because I'm sure that's exactly what they wanted, but as everyone knows by now, Disney would rather force their workers to work overtime to get the movie out in time for the holidays because whether the movie is perfect or not, it's gonna make them a crap load of money. Oh, and to be fair, if they had waited a year to release the movie, then they would have had to somehow figure out how to release it during COVID, but like, honestly, who cares? If it's a good movie, that's what should matter most. I love that Disney tried to do something super ambitious with this movie by having a theme about growing up, how to deal with change and an undiscovered past. A story that links perfectly with what was set up in the first movie and gives us a clearer picture of why Elsa has her powers and what their purpose is. And in just about every way imaginable, making it feel more mature, fantastical, emotional, structurally sound, and exciting than Frozen 1, which has its own set of problems. Because of that, I see this movie as superior to the first, even if both movies are very flawed. Mostly because the songs in Frozen 2 are straight fire and the ones in Frozen 1 are just alright from a music standpoint. But anyways, I can only hope that Disney moving forward gives their animated projects time to develop. As seen in the docu-series about Frozen 2, the writers clearly needed more time to make this movie as good as it could have been. A lot of the question marks I talked about in this video were genuine questions that the writers were having like 6 months before the movie came out. So yeah, it's clear they needed more time. Please, Disney, take from studios like Sony and, dear God, dare I say, Illumination, and if a movie needs to be delayed, delay it please. Either way, I hope you enjoyed my annual Frozen video. Check out some of my other content and consider subscribing if you'd like. I'll see ya in Radiator Springs.